Hello, my name is Logan Shaw. Welcome along the story. Today we're going to talk about Dumbo the Flying Elephant. This next historical worldview context for Disneyland rides. Thank you for coming. Let's get into it. Dumbo the Flying Elephant is an aerial carousel-style ride located in Fantasyland at 6 Disney theme parks around the world. It is based on 1941's Disney's animated feature film, Dumbo. The original attraction opened at Disneyland on August 16, 1955. The other versions of the attraction were opening day attractions at the respective parks. It is only the attraction that can be found at the 6 Disney castle parks worldwide. So, have you ever been on an adventure full of imagination? Have you ever had a kid like you walk out one day and then come back to play? Have you ever seen the movie Dumbo? And have you ever seen the Disney movies inquiring it so? Even though there's suggestible things in Dumbo, the ride is non-suggestible at all, with the ride being something bigger and better than ever before. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Dumbo the Flying Elephant and Disneyland Resort, California. Let's get into it. Okay, so what makes you feel imaginative? With no story in question, how can you in your own head make something of something that's not generally there? A story that doesn't necessarily tell a story, that doesn't necessarily test the grounds of what a story could be. Dumbo the Flying Elephant just goes like this. That's it. It goes up and down too. But the imagination that you can acquire from that is something greater than you could ever before. Kids do it all the time. Adults can do it sometimes too. But what this comes down to is this. Dumbo the Flying Elephant is something that I think people can relate to in terms of what story you could just make up out of the whim. And what stories you can make out without any inference. See, the thing is, when you come down to the line of storytelling, Dumbo in itself doesn't treat it as such. It's something you have to make of. It's your blueprint towards something that you can do with your imagination. But how can we make do with our imagination? What is something we can relate to, the nicks and crannies that's so baseless in itself? Well, let's go into detail. So, there's something we can relate to in terms of this, in terms of what makes the story a story within itself. Just like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, or stories that don't really tell a definite story, it's your job to tell that definite story, to have an imagination towards it, to have fun towards it, and to do what you can do to make sure Dumbo the Flying Elephant stays well in the ranks of something that's fun to do, not just a responsibility to keep. But here's the thing. Imagination is the key. So why don't we all imagine it? Why don't we all imagine it towards the things that we can find in terms of stuff that don't tell a direct story? But the things that really matter to us is, well, us, our kids, our families. That's a story in itself. See, the thing is, when it comes down to families in terms of baseless rides with no story, it comes down to you to make that story come to life. But here's the thing. What does that mean for you and I? Well, application, of course. Okay, so when it comes down to you and I, Dumbo the Red doesn't have a story. At least that's what we tell ourselves. But it can be our job to make imagination come to life. See, the thing is, when you're an adult, with work, with life, with taxes, with bills, with car payments and other things, it begins to be hard to show that kid in you. But once you have the opportunity to, don't you want to show it? Don't you want to see yourself as the kid in you? Don't you want to see that kid in you come out to play? Well, you can do that with your kids indefinitely at Disneyland and with Dumbo the Flying Elephant. See, the thing is, when it comes down to it, you and only you can make the story for yourself. And the imagination comes out of childlike wonder. So make that a sporadic thing. Make it explode into millions of different colors. Thank you for coming to my application. Let's move forward. Thank you for my long story. Thank you for this historical world context of Disneyland rides. There'll be more rides in the future, so keep an eye out for those. Also, the mission is 1,000 subscribers. You guys can get there by hitting the share, like, and subscribe button right on the screen. Also by hitting the bell. Leave a comment if you can too. Thank you again, and peace.